But then there's also the real problem of actual misinformation that's being spread by bad parties, right? Like, we know that. We know that there's misinformation that gets spread by bad governments, by like our enemies. Like, we know that there's a whole industry to like these Russian troll farms.
Sure.
You know, we've talked about this before, but on Facebook, 19 of the top 20 Christian sites were being run by Russian troll farms.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
You know how nuts that is?
Fucked up.
That means they're like some conversations that are insane that don't make any sense. Like, how is this a conversation? Well, it might not be. It might be we're getting manipulated. It might be there's a bunch of people. And then the problem with people we were talking about before, that we have this natural inclination to follow leaders. We do that online too, man. And if there's like some really good tweets that point in a certain direction, people will start agreeing with it.
Right.
People are easily, the idea that manipulation only applies to like verbal or written in a statement. No, it fucking applies to tweets too. You can manipulate people.
Dude,
with
I
stuff.
get manipulated all the fucking time. Are you kidding me? I'm like always getting caught up in bullshit online. I like go through like phases of like, yeah, oh my God. I pendulum between teams, or I'll get caught up in some like deep, crazy conspiracy. It's a very potent, by the way, I'm not saying it's potent because I get manipulated easily, but it's a potent drug.
Yes,
the internet's a potent drug. There's all kinds of operators. It's not just Russian troll forums. It's Discordians. It's just basic like trolls who are bored. It's who knows what. Probably some cult we'll never know about. Just some weird cult on an island somewhere with some nefarious purpose that's like trying to put some certain information on the internet. It's a ocean of madness. And maybe like the horrible idea is, okay, we can control the ocean of madness. That's what we're going to do, because some of these people are other states trying to cause discord in our society that could lead to a civil war, the collapse of the United States. We've got to do something about this. Call up Twitter. Listen, it's a problem. You got to let us tell you what's real and what's not real. And at first, maybe that's great. It's like, look, this is 100% coming from Russian trolls. This whatever this is Russian AI trolls. But then, all of a sudden, the president calls that department. Is like, hey, is there any way that you could also start applying that to people who say that I seem like I'm kind of out of it? You know what I mean? And then...
but it's not even him. He's not making that call.
It's like, yeah, his butler.
It's all, imagine. You know how, like, if you're a lawyer and you have like a sneaky suspicion that your client is probably guilty, but it's your job to get them off.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's your job. If you're a lawyer, if you're a lawyer, your job is not to make a judgment in your head. I think maybe this guy's lying, and maybe he did it.
No.
Your judgment is to try to get your client off.
That's
right?
it.
And that's why a lot of defense attorneys, man, that's a slippery fucking weird world to be in, right? But don't you think it's the same way in the government? If you're a person, if you're that poor lady who's the White House press secretary,
worst job on earth.
It's the fucking worst job.
Worst job.
It's the worst job. You get all the hate of the president and none of the power.
Yeah.
And fucking everybody hates you.
Yeah, you're like a punching bag. You just have to absorb that every day.
And you're under like extreme stress. You're a person, like, no one knows who you are. All of a sudden you have to speak publicly for the country. That is such an insane role.
Yeah.
And to be young, like this lady who's doing it now, like, how old is she? 30 something?
Young.
She's so young.
Young.
To be in a position like that where you have like a notebook in front of you and you have to like answer these complex questions like, what the fuck is going on in Yemen?
Right.
Like, why are we giving so much money to Ukraine? But the president feels the president, you're fucking talking for the whole country.
Yeah.
That's such a crazy role.
You have to like go into a meeting and they tell you what you're probably...
Oh, she's 48. She looks great. God damn, I thought she was like 33. She's healthy as fuck.
Healthy press secretary. But yeah, you got to go in a meeting. have to, like, they're going to tell you, like, look, they're going to ask you about this for sure. Yesterday, we saw the vice president, and the vice president, this obviously didn't happen. The vice president grabbed a baby out of someone's arms and threw the baby on the ground. Now, the reason this happened is because we accidentally dosed her with some new MK Ultra shit, and she thought that she was like a Greek goddess and the baby was like a Hydra head. Don't worry about it. It was a bad experiment. But anyway, they're going to ask you, why did the vice president throw the fucking baby on the ground? You don't tell them we drugged her accidentally with an MK Ultra drug. You got to say low blood sugar. The vice president's having low blood sugar and her hand shook and she didn't really throw the baby, obviously. You've got to like go out there with that just load of shit and figure out a way to say it. Not just to like one reporter, but to like 20 like one will ask.
And the whole world.
Yeah, the whole world.
The whole world's watching.
Yeah. You have to come up with some weird turn of phrase that doesn't make any sense. Like
when she had to explain why Joe Biden was bringing up a woman who was dead.
Top of mind.
Top of mind. She was top of mind.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really like it was like for what she had to work with. It was some incredible gaslighting.
Amazing. She's stuck to top of mind.
Top of mind's a good one because it's nonsense.
Because you're sitting there thinking, like, what does top of mind mean?
It's a new thing
You're getting distracted by it. So you're like, it's top of mind.
Top of mind.
Top of mind. And she just kept saying, it was top of mind. You know, top of mind. TOM, top of mind. Okay, what? And the reporters are like, but they're all thinking, I don't even know that top of mind exists. That's brilliant. Because I don't think she just came up with top of mind. I think they're sitting back there like, just say top of mind over and over.
I think that exactly is probably what happens. Like there's probably some sort of consultation on what's the best phrasing.
Top of mind?
Top of mind sounds good.
Yeah, top of mind. That's good. That's real good.
So that's her job. Just like a defense attorney, it's their job to try to get their client off. That's her job. What?
Video
What
played
happened?
on accident. I didn't mean for that to happen.
I thought you had an interjection.
No, it was just the
This hurt.
the
Here we
video
go.
where it happened.
Was, as you all know, you guys were watching today's event, a very important event on food insecurity. The president was naming the congressional champions on this issue and was acknowledging her incredible work. He had
This was after he said, called out her name when she was dead.
The congresswoman's family to the White House on Friday. There will be a bill signing in her honor this coming Friday. So, of course, she was on his mind. She was of top of mind.
Of top of